When vital weather data is needed, Muppets take flight. In the quiet hours before a storm, NOAA pilots slap a tiny Kermit blanket over their seats and buckle in for a dangerous journey. Imagine flying a 100,000-pound jet straight into the eye of a Category 5 hurricane, where 150-mile-per-hour winds scream louder than the engines and the inside of the cockpit feels like a toy box. That's the reality of two Lockheed WP-3D Orion planes, nicknamed Kermit and Miss Piggy, that fly in every June-November hurricane season to pull the secrets out of the clouds. These two planes have been doing the work for half a century. They're based in Lakeland, Florida, and they've chased down the world's fiercest storms long before satellite technology could even reach them. Every mission is a ballet of precision: 3 pilots, 2 flight engineers, a meteorologist in the cockpit, a crew of navigators, a network administrator, technicians and scientists all work in perfect unison. They log thousands of flight hours and, according to NOAA officials, more than any other P-3 Orion in history. The name Kermit and Miss Piggy didn't come from the NASA call signs or the tail numbers on the fuselage. For the first 15 years the planes were simply referred to by their tail numbers, NOAA 42 and NOAA 43. When pilots on one of the aircraft noticed that the crew inside were a bit untidy, they decided to give it a nickname. It was called the Pig. Then one day a crew member doodled a picture of Miss Piggy on the side of the plane, and the nickname stuck. The joke was so popular that the Jim Henson Company, the creators of the beloved Muppet characters, became aware of it. Jim Henson himself was no longer alive at the time, but his legacy said they would not approve of anything that didn't represent the seriousness of the mission. So the nickname stayed, and it stuck. When the planes are launched, a weather scientist on board flies them into the eye of a storm, using an array of sensors to record wind speed, pressure, temperature and other data that meteorologists rely on to improve models and save lives on the ground. The cockpit sometimes feels like a scene from a kid's TV show, with a Kermit stuffed animal dangling inside. But behind the silliness is science. NOAA uses the data from these flights to calibrate satellite readings, predict rainfall, and issue warnings that protect coastlines and cities. The pilots have to be prepared for the worst. You get tossed around so violently that you physically cannot speak, yet your radio conversation must stay clear. The Muppet in the cockpit can swing wildly, but the crew keeps their composure, telling each other, for the most part, the aircraft have their own souls. They're not just chasing the wind, they're chasing the data that tells a story about a storm. The work is dangerous, but essential. Every season, from June to November, NOAA flies 2 aircraft, Kermit and Miss Piggy, those pilots, and a full scientific team all the way into the eye of a hurricane. They bring back data that goes into the forecast models that help save thousands of lives and billions in lost property. The next time you see a wildfire spelling out a new weather database, think of the tiny Muppet in the cockpit, and remember that each flight is a mission of high-stakes science, brave pilots, and, yes, a little bit of showbiz whimsy. Thank you for listening. Stay ascending, stay informed, and stay safe. Good night.